There is a man who has worked these many years,
dedicated to bringing music to our lives,
helping countless others throughout his long career
to find the beauty in the music that we hear.
as we go on, living day to day.
There is a part of you in everything we do.
For some it's been so many years,
For others just a few.
since VHS
and Norman Allen, you.
we are the choir, Allen alumni. We are the ones whose lives you touch. Now how do we say goodbye? We've joined together once again, like so many times before. Reunited now to sing just one more song. I remember so well little things you said and did, which have become part of the choir legacy.
This is no knitting needle, despite what you may see. Watch my lips, you'll only know by watching me.
We are the choir, Allen alumni.
We are the ones whose lives you've touched. Now how do we say goodbye?
Joined together once again, like so many times before.
reunited now to sing just one more song.
Well, I can still hear, when is it my time, people?
Well, Uncle Norm, it always has been, always will.
Einstein tribe, well, from Mexico up north to Canada.
We came, we saw, we conquered when we sang.
We are the choir, Allen alumni. We are the ones whose lives we touch. Now how do we say goodbye? We've joined together once again, like so many times before. Reunited
when they told me they were making a videotape, they asked me to think of an anecdote that would remind me of you in high school. And I couldn't think of anything except for me. I think I'm an anecdote. The jacket, I think, and Rhode Island. And I think you could take it from there. I just want to say thank you, and for making me laugh, and for just being you. And I dedicate this coat to you, and this outfit to you, and my closet. If you ever need any clothes, it's always open.
I'm on television. You know, Mr. Allen, I remember once when we went to the top of a mountain, we did, on the last day of April in 1979. We climbed to the top of the mountain on the last day of April. You know what we found, Mr. Allen? We found the last snow of the season on the top of this mountain in Vermont, we did. And you know what I did, Mr. Allen? I leaned down and snatched up some of the snow, and I made a snowball, and I carried it down to the bottom of the mountain. I did. And then when I got into your van, Mr. Allen, I opened up your ice chest, and I undid my frostbitten hand, and this snowball plopped into your ice chest. And there it stood until the next day, Mr. Allen, when you took out that snowball that had come from the top of the mountain and tenderly stuck it down Scott Furgang's back.
Well, Mr. Allen, it's been 3 years since I graduated, and I must say that being in choir was a highlight of my high school career. I'd just like to wish you and your family the best of luck. And I must say that I did have nails, but unfortunately during finals I bit them all off. This is Beth Lee Schaefer, and good luck.
Mr. Allen, I guess there are 3 basic stories that would sum up my 3 years at Paramus High School. First would be my very first small ensemble rehearsal when you were telling all us new kids about the trip you took to Mexico. And you told us that you sang over the Mexican radio, and I raised my hand and wanted to know how it sounded in the translation, listening to it in Spanish. And that's how we first basically got introduced.
I will never be able to forget the time when you locked me out of your office with a turkey dinner that you didn't want, and you humiliated me in front of Mr. Fuchs's class.
I'd like to thank you just for being there all the years. You'd point out saying that I knew what was going on when I really didn't. And all the rehearsals, the plays, the trips, and most of all, I think just being around you, because you were a great inspiration to me all the years in high school. Tell your wife I still owe her that game of pinochle. And of all things, Mr. Allen, I'd just like to say thanks again for being there, even with all your stories about the tunnel, the horse, your lost brother in the snow, and everything else we heard about. They're a fantastic memory, which I'm going to be glad to keep for the rest of my life. So, Mr. Allen, just thanks for being there. God be with you.
Mr. Allen, I can't tell a lie. I know everyone's been saying they'll miss you and they're sorry that you're going to go, but I'm not. I'm glad you're going. Basically for one reason. Over the years, I became known as a fit giver. And it's a hard title to live with, Mr. Allen, and I feel somehow when you leave, that's going to be over. And the phase of my life where I gave fits will be over. So I'm glad you're leaving, because it's time for me to grow up, and it's time for me to be a human being. And now that you're gone, I don't think I'm going to have any problems, Mr. Allen. I wish you a lot of luck, but it's time for Mr. Alex Ishkinian to stop giving fits.
Alex have a fit! Alex have a fit! Alex have a fit!
I'm not going to give in, Mr. Allen. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me, Mr. Allen. Are you looking at me, Mr. Allen?
I guess my next great remembrance is when we went up to Quebec, and it was explained to me by my host that I was considered a billet because I was staying at her house, and I still to this day cannot figure out why, when we went to ride the Underground, though they had a ticket sign and a billet sign, why they wouldn't give me a special price because I was a billet, although I explained that I was a billet from the United States, and that just still hasn't been cleared up.
Yes, one time, that orbiting space station, Skylab, it was an orbiting space station that used to, you know what it used to do, Mr. Allen? It used to orbit around the Earth, this orbiting space station did. And what happened was, Mr. Allen, it began to lose momentum. And when orbiting space stations lose momentum, Mr. Allen, their orbits begin to decay, you see. And so Skylab began to have a spiral, you see, spiral in towards Mother Earth. And you know what happened, Mr. Allen? We were scared about your safety and all that. So we did the only thing we could do. We set up a radar station in the band room. You know, nothing fancy or anything. And what we noticed on July 10th, 1979, we saw that blip coming in on the edge of the screen, coming in at a trajectory of 23 degrees, at a velocity of 11,795 meters per second, and accelerating at 97,000 meters per second squared. Skylab! So we did the only thing that we could do. We put on our atomic helmets. We charged up our atomic laser gun like this. Listen. And then, when the atomic batteries were charged, we blew that little sucker out of the sky.
Okay, Mr. Allen. When they told me to come on camera and talk about, you know, an incident that we had together. Forget it, cut, let's start again.
Mr. Allen, I remember a time that we were in How to Succeed, and we had a rehearsal one day. I remember the time when you told us to all move up. So the time we started that scene, I started to move up. But everyone stayed back. So I started to move back. You said to me, Stacy Cleanboy, you were the only one that was right. Why'd you move? Everyone else is wrong.
So you'll let me know when we start. Oh well. The gimmick's over, I guess. I'm actually not blind. I'm actually a tenor too, Mr. Allen. I didn't want anybody to know, but this is Bob Zecker, and they asked me for a few memories. And the one that sticks in my mind most is doing Thespis with you, being a god with you, which I thought was quite fitting. When Chip couldn't remember any of his lines, I just look over at you and have to keep from cracking up at that moment. And I owe you a debt for that one because you started me off on a long and sordid career of Gilbert and Sullivan, which still is not over. I actually wanted to do the song We Are the Choir as a patter song, but they wouldn't let me.
Dear Mr. Allen, both me and Chris Luciola would like to wish you and your family the best of luck and thank you for all of the years of teaching that you gave us. And we'll always get a kick out of the 3 times you slipped on the ice and broke your arm.
My fondest memory is my greatest coup, I might say, is my senior year when we went down to Atlantic City with the All-State Choir. And I'm still not sure who pulled this little prank with Richard Bernardo and I, but Rich's clothes didn't look very well on me. And my little revenge, I suppose, was, well, you remember. And I guess I don't have the All-State, 1979 All-State chorus with me now, but this will have to do. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Allen. Happy birthday to you. Thanks, you guys. I wish you many more happy and healthy ones. Take care.
Okay, Mr. Allen. I'm a little bit nervous being on camera, but I decided that when I think of you, I have one image in my mind, a very extremely tall man running across a blanket of snow in Canada, jumping in front of a toboggan, trying to save my life, which I'll never forget. I really appreciate that. And just all the fun that I had working on the shows and all the rehearsals. And also, David Kimura told me to tell you my name, so in 20 years you'll remember who we are. So my name is Amy Machado, in case you forget in 20 years. And I hope that you have a great time in Florida, and I hope you and your family have a very, very nice life together, and I wish you the best.
My other memory that I have is drinking our way through Belgium with you. There was a lot of fond memories there. Drinking that raisin wine that your host made was very good. I think I'll never forget the tour of the damned on the Hell bus, Quasi and Esmeralda, are two very fond memories. When we nearly knocked down 15 centuries of houses every time we turned a corner with that bus was very, very memorable. My first experience with Europe. And I'd just like to thank you for some good moments in choir. This was certainly one of the reasons, probably the only reason I had to come back to Paramus High School. And you retired. And you know, of course, this means we'll all be singing the Hallelujah Chorus on your doorstep every Christmas, but you can get used to that, I'm sure. Have a good life.
Thanks for having a lot of faith in a mediocre piano player.
We are the world. We are the choir. We are the ones to make for safer skies. So ready, aim, fire. We gotta make this crazy place less dangerous for Norm. So we'll blow that Skylab sucker to kingdom come.
Mechel. M-E-Ch-Ech-E-L. Oh, hello there. Mr. Allen, this is Dave Kamar. I know you wouldn't remember me in 20 years, but you will remember Amy Machado. But seriously, I'd just like to wish you happiness and good health in Florida. I'm going to miss you, and just wanted you to know that as I remember my past life, actually my present life, because I can't remember my past life, because I was a woman, and it was back in the 1800s, and my name was Bridie Murphy. But seriously, thinking back in high school, my best memories of high school all came out of the choir, and I appreciate all that you've done for me. I feel like I've grown a lot because I've known you, and I'll be down to visit a couple times. I like Florida. Specific dates? Yes. I was thinking about June 22nd. I also like I like to go fishing, so I'll take you to some of the hot fishing spots down in the Keys. Have a good life.
Mr. Allen, I just want to thank you for the wonderful 4 years that I spent with the choir. I really had an enjoyable time doing the plays, the concerts, the exchange trips that we've been on. But the most of all, I enjoyed the Europe trip. We've had a lot of fun on that trip. And I just want to say that we'll all miss you, and best of luck to you and your family.
Hello, Mr. Allen. This is Stephen Miller, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Just a whole bunch of stories, none which I can relate right now. Just a whole bunch of thanks. And here's Peggy.
I don't have anything to say.
Just say something.
I have nothing to say.
Meh. Meh.
Hi, Mr. Allen. We're going to go home and knit a sweater in a little while. I will never forget you, Mr. Allen. Without you, I wouldn't have had any social life in high school whatsoever. You were the best part of my high school years. I must admit, I'm really sad to see you go, but in a way, I'm really happy because I don't have to plan my vacations around when you're having a concert anymore. So I'm really happy about this. I will never forget the time that I got to the last line of Rimney, and made it just to the very end, and you were there, and you were just about to cut us off, and you said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "No," and I passed out into Ann Miller's arms.
Spotty Norman likes to break his arms. Spotty Norman likes to break his arms. Spotty Norman breaks his arms, still the choir must sing on. Spotty Norman likes to break his arms. Go home! Gordon spinning round around the chair. Gordon spinning round around the chair. Gordon spinning round the chair. Gordon's flying everywhere. Gordon spinning round around the chair. Go home!
Well, that's about it. We'll let it roll out. Anyone has any other message?
We love you.
We love you, Mr. Allen.
Bye. We love you, Mr. Allen. Stay in touch.
Yeah, like, ditto to that.
Bye.
Buy Mattel.
No, buy U.S. bonds.
We love you, Norman. Oh, yes, we do. We love you, Norman. It will be true. When you're not near us, we're blue. Oh, Norman, we love you.
We got more tape.
We got more tape.
More tape. Okay, so how do you...
To you. No, that was done.
100 bottles of beer.